start beginning with the race for the White House. With the election just 43 days away, a new CBS News poll shows Vice President Kamala Harris is gaining ground over former President Donald Trump. Harris is 4 points ahead of Trump nationally and 2 points in the key battleground states. Our Elections and Surveys Executive Director, Anthony Salvanto, breaks down the numbers.
So here's your latest CBS News poll. Start with the national numbers. Harris at +4 nationally, but then across those all-important battlegrounds, the 7 states that are going to likely determine this election across the Electoral College, it's a smaller edge at +2. Now, what that means effectively is that either candidate can still win this race, but this is a little bit of a movement toward Harris from last month. And why is that? Well, it starts with improving views of the economy. Let me show you this. We've seen an uptick now in people who say the economy is good. Note, still most people do not say it is good, but to the extent that those views improve, maybe after the rate cuts, looking at the stock market, looking at gas prices going down in recent days and weeks, what we see is that Harris has cut into Trump's edge on or among people who say that the economy is a major factor in their vote. Trump still leads on that, but to the extent that Harris can cut into that edge, that may help her out. This may also be something that you see perhaps with anyone from an incumbent party as voters start to think that things more generally are improved, that may help. So that's one aspect of it. And in fact, if you look at this breakdown, for example, among the relatively fewer voters who say the economy is good, Harris runs very strongly. Among the voters who say that their personal finances are good, she runs very strongly. All of that are parts of this.
Meanwhile, Vice President Harris is back in Washington this morning. Last night, her campaign reported raising a record $27 million during a campaign event here in New York. Before departing on Air Force Two, Harris addressed reporters and said that she's ready to face Donald Trump on the debate stage again.
Well, you probably heard I would like another debate, so I'm hoping the former vice president will agree to that. But we have a lot more to discuss.
So joining me now with the latest is CBS News campaign reporter Zak Hudak. So, Zak, we just heard the vice president say that she wants another debate. Meantime, Donald Trump has made it clear he's not interested. His reasoning has sort of varied from, well, I already won 2 debates. Why would I want to do a third? To now, I think most recently he said, hey, listen, people are already voting. What is the point? Which, you know, is not a bad argument. Why is the vice president still pushing for another debate? Why does she think that this will help her?
And where we can look at the slight bump that we saw in that latest CBS survey, and we can look into that and we see that that did help shore up support and maybe a little bit grow support. But I think motivation here is actually a lot simpler. I think that when it comes down to it with these debates, the candidates' goals are to look as strong as possible and throughout the campaign to have a net positive through the things they do, through the things they can control. The Harris campaign views that first debate as a win for them. So therefore, they look at it as though we get back on the stage, things can only get a little bit better for us. It's looking good. And if we challenge the opponent, if we say we're already in on it, that puts us in another position of strength. Meanwhile, if you look at former President Trump's campaign, they're looking at this and they maybe don't want him back on the stage with her in the coming month and a half before the election. And they realize that the last debate may have done a little bit of damage. So that puts them in a position of trying to bat this down and say, why would we even do that? So I think you have to look at it through that lens when we look at how they act around these debates.
In the meantime, a group of bipartisan senior national security leaders, we're talking 700 of them, have endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for president. Who's in the group? I don't know if these endorsements make that much of a difference for sort of the regular folks, the regular voters, but is this significant?
And we're a couple of the more notable names, Chuck Hagel, William Cohen, who were both Republicans who served as defense secretaries under Obama and under Clinton. Also, Michael Hayden, who was the CIA director under President Bush. So this is basically another effort to further legitimize the VP as a candidate. And this happens even as the former President Trump, tries to characterize her as a lightweight and say things like she's low IQ. While he's doing that, we have all of these some Republican defense officials coming out and saying, former President Trump is erratic and we need to have VP Harris in the White House.
All right, Zach, thank you very much.